Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to this week's video. This week I will be talking about all the books that I read in August. I almost said July. Clearly August was this long for me that I actually mushed the 2 months together. Before we get started, please remember to like and subscribe. Also click the notification button down below if you want to be notified once my videos are uploaded. That was so smooth and then you balked. Also remember to follow me on my social media platforms, and without any further ado, let's get on with the video. So as I said, August was that long for me that I actually forgot 2 books that I read in the beginning of August. The first book, actually 3. Yes, I read 3. So the first book I read was Fairest by Marissa Meyer. I do not have a physical copy with me, but it's fine. I read it on Kindle. This book follows the story of Queen Levana, how she became the queen, what led to her tyranny, can I say. And it just explains that she becomes this crazy person that wants to rule Luna and she wants to rule Earth because nobody understands the way politics work and nobody understands the way it works to be a queen, and she's the only one who knows because she's the only one who knows how to rule her people with fear and how they adore her because she's this beautiful woman. We begin the story with how she explains that she's in love with a god and she can't be in love with a god because, well, she's a queen. But eventually she forces him, I don't know, to marry her? Yes, she forces him to marry her. She brainwashes him. Then the story just follows how she descends deeper into madness and how she descends deeper into this fear-driven monarch. I gave the story a 3 out of 5. I don't know, you don't need to read the story when you read the Lunar Chronicles. It's just an added extra, like Marissa Meyer's short stories from Stars Above. It's, if you really are a die-hard Lunar Chronicles fan, you would love this. But if you want to skip Fairest, her story is also shortly explained in Winter, so you don't miss out much. So the second book I read was The Morning Flower by Amanda Hocking. This is the second installment of the Omte trilogy, and this follows Eula Tulin further as she is trying to figure out who her parents are. Most half of the book is just her searching through, trying to figure out who she is, who her parents are, and why she is so different from the rest. She just feels different. There's something that tells her, she's different. Count how many times I say different from the rest of everyone. Overall, I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars because I thought the writing was really good. The plot twists were also done very well. I did not expect the ending to happen as it did. So the third book I read was The Princess and the God. This forms part of a short story collection in Stars Above by Marissa Meyer. And again, you don't need to read it if you want to read the Lunar Chronicles. I just found this website where it explained, this is how you have to read the books, or this is how you can read the books if you want more understanding. So this basically just follows Winter and her friend, I believe his name is Jason. This is how you spell his name. So this just follows how their relationship unfolds and how they become the bestest friends. It's a 3 out of 5. Again, you don't need to read it if you don't really want to, because I know in South Africa Stars Above is really difficult to find. Even Fairest, I haven't seen Fairest in the bookstores at all. It's only Cinder, Scarlett, Cress and Winter that's available in our bookstores. So again, you don't need to read it, but if you want to and you're a die-hard Lunar Chronicles fan. So sure. The fourth book, I can't speak. So the fourth book I read was The Great Gatsby by Scott Fitzgerald, or Scott F. Fitzgerald. This just follows Nick Carraway, and he explains that he has this very rich neighbor called Gatsby, and he hosts parties, every weekend. I believe it's every weekend. And he has tons of friends over. The house is always packed with people. And then Gatsby finally invites Nick Carraway over so he can, enjoy the lavishes that he also has. There's a very prominent theme in there from wealth and loneliness, especially if you have a lot of wealth and you host parties all the time. It doesn't mean that all these people are your friends. There's also this prominent theme of money doesn't ensure friends, love versus marriage, what is more important. It also focuses a lot on the jazz era because this was written in the 1920s. The jazz era was this party going era. You know, everyone enjoyed their life, no one really cared. And then there's also this differentiation between social class. Like those who are of lower class, you don't speak to them, you don't even look at them. Those who are upper class, they are, you know, just the people. They are the most important people in the world. I gave the story a 3 out of 5. It was a very good read, a very good classic. I enjoyed it. It opened my eyes to some of the themes, like themes that are still happening to this day. Social class, you don't, even if you have money, it doesn't ensure you have friends, that type of thing. So I quite enjoyed it. Especially then the fifth book I read was Winter by Marissa Meyer. This follows the story of Winter and how she begins to see these visions because she refuses to use her lunar gift. And these visions, I feel, were, how do you say, premonitions of what is going to happen later in the book. Like for some instances, and this starts in the beginning of the book. She starts seeing the walls dripping with blood, and she's covered in blood, and there's no one who can stop these visions from coming. This is the side effect of not using your lunar gift. You become even more crazy. And then she also adopted Scarlett as her best friend because Scarlett was captured in the third installment of Grace. So she and Scarlett start bonding, and then it also follows Cinder and the Rampion crew and how they are going, or planning actually, to overthrow I almost said Luna, Levana. I believe I gave the story a 4 out of 5 stars because the writing style was very good. It kept me on my toes the whole time. Like I wanted to page through every single chapter as fast as I could without missing anything. The only thing that I didn't like was the fact that there were so many things going wrong with the characters. If you can think of something that can go wrong, it did go wrong, especially for Cinder, especially for Wolf, and especially for Chris and Carswell. Everything everything that could go wrong imaginable went wrong for them during their stay in Luna. And I thought this was just a bit much because my stress levels could not take it. I just wanted them to go into the castle and overthrow Levana, but unfortunately, you know, for suspense build up and everything, she kept everything rolling and everything going wrong for the main characters just to get to the end of the book. And the ending was amazing. Somewhat the ending. I think it was chapter 95 or something. That was written really well. Also kept me very on my toes, on the edge of my seat, and I really enjoyed this book. And the sixth book I read was The Ever After by Amanda Hocking. This is the third and final installment of the Omte trilogy, and this just follows again Eula Tulin. She lost a month of memories and she's trying to get them back. If she tries to retrieve these memories, she might die. There's a big chance she might, you know, cook from the inside because there's deep dark magic that resulted into her losing her memories. So the memories were good insights, but also they didn't give enough information. Nothing was really explained up until the very end as to what she did, why she did. So it was a 3 out of 5. It wasn't fantastic, but it was a good fantasy read. I did enjoy some of the parts. The seventh book I read this month was House Rules by Jodi Picoult. This book follows a teenager named Jacob Hunt, and he has Asperger's. He's been diagnosed with Asperger's since he was in 6th grade, I think. They first diagnosed him with autism, but later developed into them figuring out he's got Asperger's. And then, you know, he's got these characteristic traits where Asperger's people don't look you in the eye when they talk. They are very edgy. They don't like you touching them. They don't like change. Everything has to be in order. Every Monday has to be the same. Every Tuesday has to be the same. You know, same routine. And then if his routine is broken, he becomes this monster of a child. He's 18 years old and he's above 6 foot something. So you can imagine he's quite a scary looking kid that throws a tantrum every now and then. And then one day when he's off to go see his social tutor, she's the one who has to give him pointers on how to react in social situations. She's found dead, and every characteristic trait of an Asperger's child leads detectives to believe that he actually was behind her death. It was, again, a 3 out of 5 stars. I didn't feel very generous with this book. It gives you awareness to the Asperger's disease and how people are with Asperger's disease and how those around them have to live with those who have Asperger's disease. But the ending felt a bit flat for me. It was an open ending from what I can gather. Like, either the person's guilty or he's not guilty, the murderer, either or. And there's more focus around the person who has Asperger's than the person who died and the murder mystery behind that, which I can understand because Jodi Picoult likes to bring forward issues that a lot of people don't know about. So it was a good book. I'm not a huge fan of these fictional kind of books, but yeah, it wasn't bad either. It made me aware of a lot of things that I didn't know about Asperger's disease. So yeah, 3 out of 5. And then the last and final book that I read, that would be A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett and Clair. This book had so much hype on TikTok and so much hype on Instagram as well. I was really interested in seeing, what was the hype behind the story. And because I like Greek mythology, I thought this was going to be a really good book. It blew up on BookTok, it blew up on Instagram as well. And I thought, maybe I should give this a try. I know there are 3 books in the series, but after reading the first book, I thought, I really don't want to read the second and third one. It's not as great for me as I believe everyone hyped it up to be. This is in New Athens, so it's in the modern era, and it follows the story of Hades and Persephone and how how their worlds collide and how she becomes the goddess of spring and how he falls in love with the goddess of spring. And it was just this, I don't know, it was a month of 3 out of 5 stars for me, basically. This book also got a 3, I think 3.5 out of 5 stars for me. It wasn't that great. After reading the first book, I thought, okay, I'm not going to waste my time in reading the second and third. It's just how I feel, because the hype wasn't there for me. It was great, but it wasn't that great. But anyway, if there are any of these books that you read and you differ from my opinion, please leave a comment down below. Also, let me know which books you also read in August. Maybe I can broaden my book horizon while my TBR is the size of Mount Everest. But I hope you guys enjoy your week. I'll see you on Friday because I've got a video vlog coming up. So yeah, enjoy the rest of your week and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.